The only way Johnny To's 2012 movie Drug War could have been any more generic is if it had been named Crime Movie. This is actually pretty shocking too, because Johnny To is a good director. Not only that, the writers for Mad Detective and Election wrote the screenplay for Drug War. So you would think, given their experience and the quality of their screenplays on prior movies, that this one would have been just as good, if not better, because they were teamed up. But alas, that is not the case. Drug War is as boring and as generic as it could possibly get. The only shining light to the entire movie is one of the lead actors, Louis Koo. He does a great job and is one of the primary reasons why I was able to watch it till the end. Unfortunately, he's the only shining light. When I say the story is generic, I really mean it. Right from the get-go, the lead bad guy, Louis Koo's character, winds up crashing into a restaurant, gets apprehended by the police, and since it has to do with drug-related offenses, he's going to be given the death penalty. So he has one option: work with the police or work with the police. Because the only other option is dying. That's not really an option. So he works with the police. The entire basis of the story from that point going forward is when he's giving cops information to move up the criminal organization food chain, is he being sincere or is he trying to play them and being duplicitous? That's literally the story. It happens 3, 4, 5 times through the course of the movie that situations arise and they have to determine, is this guy screwing with us or is he giving us real info? That's it. That's the story. I don't have to tell you about any of the scenarios because that's all that's involved. There are some additional characters who do a good job, namely the 2 brothers at the drug lab. Their shootout scene is actually pretty awesome and has lots of explosions and great lighting and directing. And you would think if that scene was that good, then the finale's got to be great. Unfortunately, the finale is boring as hell. The entire final fight is nothing but handguns. At no point does someone reach into a trunk, pull out an RPG, blow up a car. Nobody whips out AK-47s or AR-15s and puts a crap ton of holes into a car, a bus or something. Nope. Handguns. That's it. And it's as boring as it sounds. Like I said, I'm not going to go into detail on the plot because it's been done a million times, and if you're that interested, you can read it online. But if you've seen a movie where a bad guy kind of works with the good guys, but then kind of not because he's got his own agenda, that's literally this movie. But here's the thing. It's generic, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, because in 2018, there was a South Korean remake called Believer, which is, in my opinion, and that's all it is an opinion, that's what reviews are, is 10 times better. Everything about the South Korean version is amped up. The casting is better, the acting is more intense, and the action is more exciting. Not only that, the direction and especially the production quality is just through the roof. When you compare one of the characters named Haha between the Chinese version and the South Korean version, it's not even close. The South Korean guy is literally insane in the movie, and he comes off as such. It's intense. I had no idea what was going to go down, but the Haha character in the Chinese version is just kind of, yeah, so he laughs a bit. So given that most of the characters are fairly generic, the story is also fairly generic, and the action scenes are incredibly boring, that pretty much just leaves the success of the movie in the hands of the director, Johnny To. If he were on his game, it probably would have been better, but the direction is very, I want to say, consistent. It's not bad per se, but it's not Tarantino either. Also, for some reason, every single scene has a flat lighting. It just looks flat. That's gotta be whoever they hired to do the lighting and the cinematography, because even indoors where you don't have gray overcast skies, which could be a problem on outdoor scenes, it still looks flat. There's no texture or color or anything to the lighting in the whole movie. Carry that over to the finale, and between nothing but handguns, flat lighting, and generic action, there's not really a whole lot to write home about. Here's the icing on the cake though. It goes down, I'm not going to really give spoilers in case you're still interested in seeing it, but there's a final scene dealing with Louis Coe's character, and it comes off more like a PSA of don't deal drugs, drugs will get you killed, as opposed to a fitting conclusion. I'm not saying there's some kind of underlying message to the scene, but it sure does seem a little heavy-handed. When all is said and done and the final credits were rolling, I didn't exactly feel like I wasted an hour 47 of my time, but I wasn't exactly pining to watch it again either. It's a decent crime movie. It's got an interesting, albeit generic story, and if you like shootouts with literally nothing but handguns, well then this will definitely fill the bill for you. If you're really interested in a movie like this though, I would highly recommend the 2018 South Korean version, Believer. It, as a remake, did exactly what you would hope for. It made a good base a better movie. That said, Johnny To's 2012 movie Drug War is average at best. As a result, I'm giving it a rating of 5 out of 10. If you really want to watch a movie where it has cops going after drug smugglers, I would also recommend 1987's Lethal Weapon starring Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. It's infinitely better than Drug War and has basically the same plot. Thank you for watching.